Quaid Azam Part 380. The Government of India Act 1935 was a British Act. We welcomed it then, perhaps missing its deeper import, which is surprising considering the galaxy of jurists that the freedom movement had. Being British, the Act clearly safeguarded their interest and had provisions for British interference and actual decisions on matters of that Indian patriots believed was entirely India's preserve. Like decisions of war and peace, of course no legislative measure could or can ever provide bridges to cover Hindu and Muslim divides. But by then it was clear that retaining Indian unity simultaneously gaining freedom from the British was impossible unless we accepted wide enough federal foundations. And here lay the rub, for this was anathema to Nehru's centralizing approach and policies. It is astonishing what great distance separates his centralizing Nehru from the author of Discovery of India, who he had approvingly quoted union plus independence or disunion plus dependence. That is why this was the great error, that one great dividing decision, not considering the dominion status and decentralized yet united, and a federal India when that was so clearly ours to attain. This failure goes a long way back to the decades of early 20th century, to that Gandhi-Nehru discord on this very issue in the 20s, even to Balfour in 1926. That being so, nagging thought surfaces, then why lament now? Because unless we recognize those great errors, those many missteps that finally brought us to where we are today, we will continue to repeat our mistakes, to flounder away in this morass of inherited wrongs. There was yet another opportunity, the Cabinet Mission of 1946. The mission offered a constitution that could have maintained the unity of India, but at the price of having up to 3 groupings in a federal India. This was the sort of constitution for which the joint memorandum of 1934 could have naturally, steadily prepared the ground. Congress' attitude to even this last effort remained questioningly evasive, therefore discouraging, and this too finally fell by the wayside. In the end, the only course that remained was to break, to partition, and from what was one India, there now got carved out a Muslim part, and by implication an India that was now dominationally separated but not termed as such or as Hindu India. Neither was it so defined. India was finally divided by a swift, massive, unheeding surgical cut. After all, that is what Jinnah had wanted, and Mountbatten too. Following him were Nehru and Patel, who if not actually wanting it, had certainly consented to let partition happen. When Lord Mosley many years later had asked Nehru why, he had responded candidly but also with his great inherent pathos, "We were tired men by then and had been in prison for too long." Well, I've got a footnote here. We were tired men and we were getting on in years too. Few of us could stand the prospect of going to prison again, and if we had stood out for a united India as we wished it, prison obviously awaited us. We saw the fires burning in the Punjab and heard of the killings. The plan of partition offered a way out. We took it. We expected that the partition would we thought that the partition would be temporary, that Pakistan was bound to come back to us. It was Nehru in an interview with Lord Mosley in 1960, The Last Days of British Raj, page 285. So I get back to the book in my next video and I'll read the next paragraph.